What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. Listen, man, I keep telling y'all I be right a lot. I be wrong sometimes, of course, but I be right a lot. What have I been saying about Darren Waller for weeks now? Weeks! Hey, man, this feels funny. Hey, he might be hurt. Hey, I don't like what they're saying. Well, guess what? According to reports, Darren Waller not playing in week one. I said on yesterday's show, it's 50-50 he won't play Sunday. Don't be shocked if he doesn't. Who practices 2 days, misses 3 days of practice, and then plays Sunday? That doesn't make any sense. And guess what happened? You guessed it. Darren Waller out, hip injury. I mean, it's been trending this way for over a month, and it's been frustrating to be effectively gaslit by your team, telling you it's all good, it's fine. I'm like, fam, it's cool if it's not fine. We're the Dolphins. We know people are hurt. That's literally half the team. But why would you keep telling me, from the coach to Tua to Darren himself to Drew Rosenhaus, oh man, he's doing it, putting in work. He's gonna be ready. And I said, don't know. Feels funny. Right on cue. You guessed it. Not playing Sunday. And honestly, I'm gonna put this out here. Don't be shocked if he ends up on the pup list out for the first 4 weeks. Don't be shocked because what? He's gonna miss his first game and then practice all next week and then play week two. Like that feels. This wasn't a game time decision. He hasn't practiced in days. That tells me probably Tuesday they knew he wasn't playing, but they wanted to like delay it for some reason. I don't know how severe the hip injury is. They won't even like give us specificity on what the hip injury is. It's just that he has one. I just don't like the fact that it seemed very obvious that they were hiding something for weeks now. And it wasn't just conditioning. It didn't make sense to me. And I kept saying it because I'm like, I think I'm right about this. I was hoping I'm wrong. Of course. I told y'all. I want to see Darren Waller on the field. I want to see him with Tua, with Tyreek, with Jalen, with Devon. I want to see the four. I want to see all of them. But it just seemed like, wait a minute, this isn't going to work. Or if it does, it's going to be in such a short supply that you won't really get a gauge on it. Like you won't be able to watch the game and be like, yeah, the 7 plays I saw, man, were great. That doesn't make sense, right? So this whole thing felt suspicious for some time, and it's just frustrating that it finally came to a head to the most obvious conclusion. It's like Tyreek not being named captain. Well, you think we thought he's gonna be a captain after the whole offseason has been, yeah, Tyreek's trying to work on his stuff. Yeah, Tyreek's trying to get back in our good graces. Yeah, Tyreek has some fences to mend. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what Tyreek is gonna be next year. And then all of a sudden, yeah, he's not a captain. Yeah, obviously. Well, why would he be? It just doesn't make any sense. So Darren Waller will not be out there week one, barring some miraculous recovery. But again, this is a long term game. We want him to be healthy during the year. This has honestly been one of the biggest knocks on him is availability, which starting off does not have it. This feels very Odell Beckham reminiscent. Now we cut Odell after 9 weeks, I believe. I don't believe Darren Waller will be cut at any point this year. I can see him being benched, but we don't have a better tight end on the roster. So this is where we are. We're committed, but I don't like being lied to. I was saying what I was saying for a long time, and I'm sure some of y'all are like, come on, Chris, don't be doom and gloom guy. I'm like, I just feel like it doesn't make any sense, and then here we are. So Darren Waller, not out week one. Not out there week one. Now, for those of you who've been watching this for some time now, you know I like a lot of things about the secondary. I like versatile players that can play a lot of different positions. I don't like I can only be a left corner. I can only be a slot guy. I like you can put me wherever you want. This is what makes players like Cooper DeJean a good player for Philadelphia, or someone like Minka Fitzpatrick who can be played in a lot of different places. I like the idea. Yes, if you have yourself, a Pastor Tan or a Derek Stingley, and you just say that's an every guy cornerback or whoever your best guy is, my guy can get you. I get that. That's fine. But in general, I like Kyle Hamilton. Is everywhere in the box, 40 yards back, 10 yards on the blitz. Like, I like versatile players. I don't know if anyone from that team actually watches my show and is like really integrated with it. Maybe some see it in passing. We'll see. But Coach Weaver today came out and said almost verbatim what I have been saying since this show started. I'm not saying I was right about this. That's a personal preference. There's some teams who everyone has very fixed positions. I like the idea that you can be roamed around because it makes your defense more predictable. That's why I like it. But this is what Coach Weaver actually had to say about defense and flexibility. He said, the one thing about us, and I think it's reflective in the depth chart, is we're a little bit positionless in terms of who we are and what we do. By trait, I guess you would say we have a lot of tweeners on the defense, but that also gives you a lot of flexibility. I don't know. Sounds a lot like what I was saying. I mean, hey, I'm not saying Coach Weaver watches the show and was like, yo, man, I got Chris's right. Let me go pattern my defense after what this YouTuber had to say. I'm not saying that. It would be ridiculous to even assert that he said that. What I can say is you can go back and look at my episodes from episode 10 on when we are talking about the draft. And I was like, I would like to draft this person because I think they could play a lot of different positions. They could be left corner, right corner, this and that. They could play DN, D line, whatever. The reason I said we should go out and try to get Jabril Peppers. He can play in the box, outside, all the things. And now the coach is saying the same thing. Hey, we got a lot of tweeners out here. That guy, like Jason Marshall, played outside corner. We're trying to move him to inside corner now. But given how the formation might set up, he might roll. He might be in different places. Love that. And I think the more versatile your defense can be, the better your defense is. I don't think there's any great defense where everyone is like you got to play this one position outside of Nick Bosa as a pass rusher. Like he's not gonna play. He's not gonna play middle linebacker or deep safety. You got to have a couple staples. Like Zach Sealer is not gonna be out here playing corner. We understand that, but from those back seven guys or six, depending on what kind of defense formation you're in, the more like if you have a linebacker that can't cover, that's a problem. They're just gonna exploit him in coverage. But if your linebacker can cover and rush the passer and can fill the gaps in running, you have a full linebacker. That's why Fred Warner is so good. That's why Roquan Smith is so good. They do all the things. But the linebackers who can't cover, Patrick Queen, then you're really good at stopping a run. They put you in coverage, you get eviscerated. So how do you beat a team like that? You keep putting a linebacker in passing situations. You want as many guys on the defense that can do as many things that they can do. Because once they find a mismatch, boom, boom, they just keep hitting that mismatch. People were talking about this Micah Parsons trade. And they're talking about the Cowboys not being good at stopping a run because what teams would do would just run at Micah Parsons. If you let him get upfield and pass rush, he's going to dominate you. If you run at him with a big 340-pound offensive lineman, they would just push him out of the way, and then you would run his way. So it was like we never got an answer to him in the run game. So he was always a run game liability. Super versatile at pass rush, not versatile against the run. That's a problem. I think this is a smart strategy. We also just picked up people who were they're tweeners in a sense that they never got solid at their position. Not necessarily that their skill set is a tweener, if that makes any sense, right? Meaning, if you were a 10-year starting free safety, then you're pretty set at that position. But if you've been a strong and a free because the team needed different things, or maybe you weren't a great corner, so they just moved you to safety. Like that's a different thing. Like Charles Woodson was probably the ultimate of this, where he was an awesome cornerback, and when he got slower, they just moved him to safety. But there will be some formations. There's four receivers. They can just move him down. You guard the fourth receiver. There's like levels to this whole thing. I think it's good. I hope it pans out on the field and we can be really versatile and attacking from all positions on defense. But again, we will see really a couple days from now. Looking forward to it. Now, we mentioned some negative news about injuries earlier. Then got some positive news. Tyreek and Devon Achane both cleared to play on Sunday. They are both good to go. No injury designation. As far as we know, no snap count. They're just going to go out and play as if they're perfectly fine. Which, listen, as much as I want Darren Waller to play, I much rather have Devon Achane and Tyreek Hill play. One, they know the offense. Two, I know they work with Tua. Three, they're more explosive. That's it. Darren Waller will fill a need. I do think the Dolphins offense needs a tight end that can be reliable, and Jonnu Smith showed us last year what that can be. Mike Gesicki showed us in like pieces. Oh man, if we can target that tight end down the middle, given how often our receivers are running those deep overs and curl routes, you can hit like a tight end over top of that. That'd be beautiful. And then Jonnu showed us, and we said, "Oh, that's pretty good." Darren Waller has some of that Johnu in him, so I think at some point that would be great. But right now, we need our big horses in week one. Week one, defenses tend to have the advantage because offenses have been kind of rusty and defense is more attacking in how they're in their style of play. You want as many of your big horses as possible. I don't know how healthy everybody's going to be. I know they're all going to play, like Jalen, Tyreek, and Devon. They're all going to play. I don't think any of them are 100% though. So I don't know. I think there may actually end up being some level of a snap count, but and also Tyreek is usually pretty conditioned, but because he's been out for so long, he might actually be slightly deconditioned. And because his routes are typically far down the field, and he's always in motion because of how we use him in the offense, I can see Tyreek not playing nearly as many snaps this Sunday as he typically does because when you're running in motion forward and back, then down the field 20 yards back to the huddle, you got two or three of those in you before. Hey, I'm tired. So if you see Tyreek run one or two of those and then him on the sideline with a mask and water, he's not in football shape because he's been hurt. Um, Same thing with Devon, same thing with Jalen. I think that's makes Ollie Gordon a really good flex play this week for those who play fantasy. I drafted Ollie Gordon, by the way, and Tua for my own personal league. So I'm putting my fandom where my team is. This is a money league, so I got both of those guys. Wasn't able to get Tyreek or Jalen. I saw Darren Waller out there, and I just didn't trust that he was going to be playing, so I didn't grab him. But I did get those two. So I think you're going to see all these guys play, but they're going to be like in shorter hooks because we can't. If Tyreek's tired running a deep route, he's not going to run the route as fast as he should. I'd rather him run it once or twice, take a breather for the rest of the series, and then when we come back around, he's ready to go again. I don't want him laboring on the field. Devon, you guys already know how I feel about that heel calf. I got some trepidation about it. But if he's good to go, doctors say he's good to go. He's good to go. So they're all going to play Sunday. We should have most of that going on. We James Daniels, I think, is questionable to play at the moment, and he hasn't been practicing the last couple of days, so I can see him not playing, which I don't love because he was supposed to be our starting guard. So I don't know what's going on there. I would like our old line to be fully intact, even if our skill positions are not. But Austin Jackson is going to play, so we're good there. So we have basically our offensive line, maybe -1, and then our starting skill position people who are maybe just a little bit tired. But it's all shaping up to be most of the team we want to see. I think we're probably a couple weeks away from having like the full roster of our players. But given what we were a few weeks ago, where it was just like injury, 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 a lot of those people who said they would play week one are in fact playing week one. Some of them are not. Like I said, they wouldn't be. But we got these big horses playing. Looking forward to it. Let's feed them the ball. We're going to jump right to the comments. And of course, the top comment in some varying fashion is, how do you feel about Sunday's game? There's a lot of different forms of this question. Like, do you think the team's going to play well? How well do you think Tua's going to do? Is the defense going to hold up? But all of those questions can just be condensed down into one bigger question. How do you feel about Sunday? Sunday is the first game of the year. On the road. Crowd's going to be loud. This is one of those you got to get off to a good start kind of games. If you let them first drive, run the ball 6 times, Daniel Jones bootleg pass, stand in the pocket, break the pocket and run, 10 plays, 80 yards, touchdown. Not a great start. You don't want to be down on the road to a team that's hungry to try to get in the playoffs. Their coaching staff is on a hot seat. The reason they're not playing Anthony Richardson is because they don't think he can help them keep their job. So they're going to come out hair on fire. Listen, a lot of Colts fans have been in my comments this week. Some of them cool, some less. But they've been saying, yo, man, we got some good guys at corner. I've been down on their cornerbacks. They're like, no, we got this kid. Jalen is good at corner. Kenny Clark's a good slot corner. Xavier Howard's not even going to play for real. I think Xavier's going to play just for the ego of that part of the game. But we have to get off to a good start. I think our defense, where we're good, matches up well against where the Colts are good. We're good now on a D line, and we're good at linebacker. The Colts want to run the ball. So our big guys up front, I feel like can stalemate to control the line of scrimmage. And if we can force them to throw the ball, I don't believe Michael Pittman is a better receiver than whatever corner is guarding him consistently. He might get open once or twice. Fine. I'm more afraid of Josh Downs. Totally, to be totally honest. I think he's quicker. He's a little bit more explosive. He can get down the field. He's smaller, which is good. So the catch radius is not as good. And Daniel Jones, to me, is not a particularly accurate passer. So it makes the window smaller. Michael Pittman is a big body who wants to do some jump balls. I don't think Michael Pittman is a number one receiver. I've never thought he was. I think he's a number two, maybe, probably most likely a three, but a low end number two receiver, which is great because we probably don't have a number one corner at the moment. So I think Storm against Michael Pittman, I feel good about that. I don't feel like, oh man, they're gonna pick on him. I feel solid. I don't think Adonai Mitchell against Jack Jones or Rasul. I don't think he's great either. I think he's a bubble wide receiver three. So the game to me is the trenches. Colts offensive line, very good. Colts defensive line, also good. So that's scary a little bit. If our D line does what they should do, with Zach Kenneth, and of course all the four defensive end slash outside linebackers we have rushing, if we can control the middle, which is where their blocking schemes, because their guards are their best position on our offensive line, so their runs tend to be where the guards take you, which is either right in between next to where the center is, or on some kind of pulling motion, right? If we can neutralize that interior of running, the DNs absolutely have to keep contained. I'm saying that right now because I watched Colorado football, the Buffs, playing their first game last week, and I kept watching the defensive ends crash in, and people kept running outside. And one of your primary jobs as a DN is to keep contained. Jonathan Taylor is fast, like sub 4.4 fast. If you let him get around the corner, I don't trust that our cornerbacks are the best at run fitting. So if he's out there against Jack Jones, I don't like that matchup. Jalen Ramsey, maybe, but not this current iteration. So our DNs want to rush the passer, but you can't rush the passer so much that you don't do the defensive end job. You got to keep Jonathan Taylor in between those tackles. Like, hey, consume those blockers up front. Linebackers come make the play. I think our linebackers are primed to be good in this game. We are healthy at linebacker, like one of the rare position groups where the three people we thought would be starting 2 months ago are most likely starting. We don't have a lot of flux there. Like it's a good place to be. If you're good up front with good linebackers, you should be good against the run. You got to keep Jonathan Taylor in that box. I want them to be in third and long consistently. Consistent third and long. I do not trust Daniel Jones to throw the ball. That's just where I am. Now, he might prove me wrong and throw for 400 yards. Our secondary is weak, and, I got to give him props on Monday when I do the next spot. Whatever. I don't trust him. I think if it's consistently third and long and it's our secondary versus their receivers, we're going to be fine. Because I think if he has to hold the ball at all, our pass rush will get to him. That's my feeling on this. If he's holding the ball, waiting for Adonai Mitchell to get open, which he just doesn't really do for real, I think Chubb, Phillips, I think they're going to get to him. If they don't, Chop's got you. Judon's got you. Somebody's going to get home. If not, Zach up the middle. And Daniel Jones will run himself into some sacks. as athletic as he is, he will run into sacks as well because he doesn't, I think, have the best field awareness. Like, he sees stuff happening. It's like, I should probably get out of the middle of the field. And then, like, he'll think of that a beat too late. And then he tries to, like, vacate the pocket, but now it's too late because they're already on top of him. I just think that what we do well works against them. My concern is us running the ball against their D-line. DeForest Buckner is a giant in the middle, and he is a bully. And he will take on two blockers. And if we're weak at guard, meaning we were playing a backup guard, they're going to target that side. That's going to be a problem. I think Kenny Clark's a really good slot corner. I don't think either of their two starting outside corners are better than the receivers we're going to have. I think Malik, if it's Malik against Kenny, I think Malik can still get open. Obviously, Waddle and Tyree can get open against anybody. I don't love their safety play. They are awesome at linebacker and really good up front. So I think running the ball is going to be tough sledding. But I do think if we can protect, then there's opportunity in the secondary to pick them apart. I don't care how good they think their young cornerbacks are. We have elite receivers. We have fast receivers. We have quick receivers. I think you block up front, we got them. You attack them up front, we got them. So I think the formula is not particularly difficult to game plan. It's just first game of the season. Are you going to do it? We have our full arsenal of pass rushers. We have our receivers. We have a healthy tool going into the year. Can we execute the game plan we come into the game with? If we do, then I think we'll win. Tomorrow I'll give like an actual prediction because I feel like I got at least some kind of teaser. I've already given y'all a good show today, but maybe tomorrow I'll give you like an actual prediction score wise. But yeah, I think we're set up to win. Go out there and do it. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and the subscribes. I will see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.